Push-ups are one of the best exercises for the upper body. They have no requirement for equipment. You can do them almost anywhere, and they cover so many muscle groups. The problem is, so many people get bored when they try to do them. So today, I'm going to show you some of my favorite push-up variations to not only spice up your workout, but to hit muscles that you may not have known you could hit. First up, we have the normal push-up. Normal push-up, everyone's familiar with. This is the one that people will often be taught and think of as the end-all be-all of push-ups, and that's often where they stop. And so if you have this as your framework, we're going to add to that today, and I'm going to show you videos for all of these at the end. Next, you have the diamond push-up. Sometimes you get a little bit more creative, you add a little bit of change in hand position, and that can make a world of difference for people. But sometimes that's not enough. There's more to it. Next, we're going to talk about the spear push-up. This is actually a concept I got from Tony Blauer. Tony Blauer is a combatives guy, does a lot of cool martial arts stuff, a lot of brain-based martial arts stuff, and his push-up philosophy is part of the inspiration for this. After the basic spear push-up, we're now going to add in the shifted spear. The shifted spear is now changing where you're putting the load. From there, we're going to move into the leg shift push-up. The leg shift is going to change how your body distributes that weight and that load as you're creating that push-up. So you're actually moving your body through different positions because of how you're distributing your weight. Then we're going to go into a bent push-up. The bent push-up is one of the best ways to start to change how you're going to actually stretch and mobilize some of the spine, the shoulders, and the neck during a push-up. Life is not always symmetrical, and training in a one plane of motion kind of way all the time can definitely open up the door to boredom, to misuse and disuse of tissue, and it can leave your athleticism and movement quality lacking. Then we're going to get into a staggered hand position. Staggering the hands changes that load. It changes the emphasis from one arm to the other. So if you're trying to increase your strength in one side more than just what you can accomplish with just regular push-ups, you might be ready for a staggered grip push-up. Then we're going to get into changing the hand positions. Changing your hand position is a fantastic way to, again, change the target muscles. I did a video for all of these, so you don't have to worry about memorizing those pictures. Check this out, and we'll talk about it here in just a moment. The first push-up we're going to do is your typical, common, normal push-up. Nothing fancy about it. Hands about shoulder width, maybe a little wider, maybe a little bit more narrow, down and up. Then you can go into a diamond push-up. So hands are going to be under the chest, okay? So what I mean by that is if I were to draw a straight line from my sternum out, there's going to be my hands. That's going to be important to differentiate from what's going to come. So chest over the hands, down, up. There's your diamond push-up. The spear push-up, instead of the hands being under the chest, I want you to imagine your hands are going to be trying to drive this motion. So we're actually going to be starting underneath the head, going towards it, and pushing back. Going towards it, pushing back. So I'm actually creating this motion as I'm pushing. From there, we're going to now take that same spear concept and put it off to the side. So I'm going to start my hands over here, still keep my center of gravity where it was, down and out. Okay? And then you can do that on the other side as well. Okay? Now we're going to do the leg switch, or the leg shifted push-up, So same idea as our spear push-up, but instead of creating that motion going this way with the arms, I'm now actually starting with the leg going back. So I'm going to have one leg bent, one leg here, and as I go down, I'm now having room to move a little bit. That changes your center of gravity. It changes where you feel the load, and it changes where you're creating activation. Okay? Then you're going to do the bent push-up. Normal push-up position, spine is bent. And then you're going to push from here. Okay, then you have the staggered push-up. Instead of being even, I'm now going to have one high and one low. Then you can get into alternating the hand positions. So I can be fingers forward, fingers in, fingers out, or if you're really flexible, depending on the position, you can do fingers down. And you can do any combination of those. Give them a shot. Let me know how they go for you. Pretty cool, right? So now that you've seen different variations of push-ups, you want to throw these in very cautiously at first. If you've got any weird shoulder issues, if you've got any weird back or neck or spinal issues, definitely want to be cautious with doing these, okay? Talk to your doctor, talk to your physical therapist, make sure you're cleared for exercise before you do any of these, because this is advanced training. This is now getting into changing how your brain is thinking about movement, how your brain is thinking about positions you might not be familiar with. Go slow, go carefully, go with caution, go with safety. Do not get injured, please, but be safe. And then from there, you want to look at where this might fit into your actual training routine. You might find that this is something that you do a little bit of here and there. It might be something where you turn this into a sequence. You go from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and that changes your whole set now. Instead of doing 10 reps of one version, you might now have one set where you're switching positions often, and that increases the amount of coordination of your training. A lot of athletic training, a lot of fitness training lacks the challenge to your coordination systems. So switching your position on an every rep basis now changes how your brain has to pay attention to what you're actually doing. Be sure to like this video, share it with somebody who likes push-ups, share it with somebody who's going to use this information for good, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel because I got a lot more coming your way. Take care.